Next topic, Xbox predictions for 2016. Nope.
I can't give the X.
Yeah, no.
I can't throw up an X for
broke you
Xbox.
for a second.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to run through the big exclusives I have written here, see if I miss any, and then we'll kind of just talk about predictions overall.
Okay.
Recore.
Oh?
You think it'll be 2016?
Yeah, I think it'll be,
I don't.
Yeah, I do think it will be 2016.
One of us will be right. One of us will be wrong.
Yeah, that's the only way it can go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's going to be a big thing?
No. I think it'll probably be good, but I don't think it's going to be a big thing, no.
Mm-hmm.
Not for that audience. I mean, it's a weird game to have on Xbox, I think. It strikes me as more of a PlayStation game, just based on the Inafune's involvement. Although, it's being made by an American studio. I just don't know, I don't see how the Xbox audience seems to vibe more with shooters and racing games and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see how an action-oriented third-person kind of game does exclusively on the console. Tomb Raider didn't do very well, although Tomb Raider's kind of a shooter.
Yeah, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances on that one, though, right?
Are you going to play Recore?
I kind of probably have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's an Inafune game. I played pretty
Your
much every one of these
Inafune
games.
fan club card will get revoked if you don't.
I kind of have to. Next up, we got my Xbox Game of the Year 2016, Cuphead.
Oh.
My God. I hope we get that soon. I hope we get that real soon.
That's got to be close.
I want it in February.
No, I don't think you're going to get that soon. That strikes me as a game that disappeared because they're fixing it.
Mm.
We heard about that
making it more of a game.
ago.
Yeah.
I want to say
I would like that. I mean, that's the thing is we saw it and it was all boss battles and stuff. And I think that's, what they're going for. And that's what allows the level of animation that it has and the beauty that game is. But I would love it if it was more of a platformer. I look at that, I'm just like, I want to jump on things.
Sure.
But
it's so punishingly difficult.
Yeah.
It's going to stomp you out. It's going to break you,
I
Tim.
love that, though.
It's going to break you, Tim.
That sounds good. I want a game that kicks my fucking ass.
Okay.
Microsoft's dumping money into it. I think that they have the money to make it right. And I think that's probably what they're trying to do. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect to see it anytime soon.
What's your prediction then?
Probably the summer at the earliest, I would say. But
Summer of
probably not
Arcade,
even.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Scalebound.
Oh, yeah.
Will we see it in 2016?
At events and stuff.
I don't think it's going to
I
come
don't
out.
think it comes out, yeah.
What are
It's
your
supposed to, I think. I mean, when we saw it, it wasn't running well. So I mean, and that's a very early preliminary kind of thing. But the game, I wasn't impressed with the game's performance. I don't know that they need it. I think that could be a game that can just take your time and finish it and release in 2017. They have they have quite a few big games coming out. I don't think they need Scalebound. I think you save that game and let them, let Platinum finish it.
Mm-hmm. Big games like Quantum Break.
Oh,
Quantum
fuck
Break's gonna be huge.
yeah.
That's gonna be a huge game.
That's gonna be really
When do you think it's coming?
that strikes me. There isn't any. They haven't said anything other than this year, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then I'm gonna say it would be. Oh shit! I could either see it being one of those May games that's right before E3. You know what I mean? Or September, right at the beginning of September. You know what I mean? Because I think it's that big of a deal that Remedy's putting out this huge game and doing this cool thing. But I don't think since it's a new IP that it can go and stand toe to toe against. Fight people right on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, spring strikes me. I think it was supposed to come out this year, so I think that that was the plan. So I think that they probably need a little more time, but I don't know if they need a year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see. That's
Sometimes it gets down to just the marketing.
Yeah.
If that was really the case, then they wouldn't have released Tomb Raider either.
True.
Yeah. Rocket League finally coming to the Xbox.
That's huge.
With a Warthog. Pretty fucking cool. Gears of War 4. Obviously going to be
Very
the
excited
big
about that.
marquee title.
That's a
for
fall
them.
game. That's the fall game.
Definitely fall. Sea of Thieves, the rare game. You think we'll see it next year?
Probably not, but I don't know that it matters.
Yeah, that's just it'll happen.
Yeah.
It's like Cameo.
Yeah, I don't think that it's really going to be super relevant to their lineup. Not with some of these other games.
Mm-hmm. Crackdown.
Crackdown's gonna be huge. I think that will be that will come out. That if they were smart, they would release that in the summer, like an August game, and get out of the way of everything else and let it kind of breathe. I think that's gonna be a big one.
Do you think Crackdown so Crackdown to me has always been one of those games where kind of like Mirror's Edge, where it's people fucking love it and they make a big deal about it, and then it's announced they're like, but is it really that big of a deal?
It's hard to say because the original Crackdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say though because the original Crackdown came with Halo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's hard. That's like reading into Zone of the Ender's success.
True.
Because it came with Metal Gear Solid 2. So it's hard to say. I think people like open world games and Crackdown. The original Crackdown was like a collectathon. I think people thought it was too much. The second one I think people liked a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see
I mean, it was
how
a
this
hit
all-
for sure,
yeah.
and it's definitely like a cult classic. But I'm interested to see the performance of it in the sales. Of
Yeah, me too.
This reboot one.
Everything I've
whatever
seen
the
for
hell
it, I like a lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The fact they're talking about it being more like Crackdown 1 or whatever, then yeah, it's stoked about that. Real quick, too, we always talk about Xboxes in our beat. April 5th, Quantum Break.
Mm.
So yeah,
Oh, so I was right.
spring. Yeah.
Wow, there's actually a release date. That's
Gamescom, they announced it. So
Oh.
Oh, so we
we were
were
asleep at the wheel on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember it. I remember. That's why I was asking.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Halo Wars 2 is the other one.
That's a big
Oh,
one.
wow.
This-
Ryan Clements, Dave Clay, and Eric Brudvig pumped.
Yeah, I mean Alfredo and his brother. My
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
especially his brother. Holy shit, he put so many hours into Halo Wars, and that's one of those games where it is a huge deal to a small group of people, and I think that small group is bigger than people give it credit for.
Halo Wars was big.
Yeah, and it's they did RTS right on a console.
Yeah.
and I think that's a big deal.
I think this whole game's weird. Like in a good way. They're working with a Sega studio making right? Creative Assembly, I think, is making this game, isn't
That
it?
sounds right.
And so they're working with like a Sega studio making a Microsoft exclusive. I think it's kind of cool. Like this is a more clever use of, this is the way Sony deals with studios, but even in a more kind of intricate way where they cultivate second party games from studios that you might not expect. And so yeah, I think Halo Wars 2 is going to be a pretty big game, but yeah, not sell millions and millions of copies, but it's going to be, a good game for them to have, and I think people are stoked about that. That's for the fans,
Yeah, definitely, which is very, very good for them to do that stuff.
Yeah, creative.
Do you have any just predictions overall for Xbox in 2016?
No, I think that this is going to be a make or break year for them in the sense that they're selling fine. They're outpacing Xbox 360. That's lost because they refuse to release numbers, and they do that because they're losing, and that's the same way PlayStation used to play it. So that's not a huge surprise, but I think that they have their big guns now coming out. They had a great release schedule this year with Halo, which sold pretty softly, and they had Gears and Rare Replay and stuff. But now with Crackdown and Quantum Break and Gears 4, and I mean this is a pretty substantial lineup. So if they're not going to move more units this year than they did in the last, then I'm not sure that they have much hope of ever doing that. So I'm interested. I mean, it's not so much prediction. I think they're going to be. I think they're having a good year. I think they're having a good year.
I'm interested to see their E3 this year because they have now kind of released all their big guns, or all the big announcements are finally like things like Scalebound. It's like it's inevitably coming, and Quantum Break's finally happening.
Yeah.
There's been a Halo. There's been a Halo collection. There's
a
going to be a
Gears now.
Gears.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been a Gears remaster. So it's kind of like I wonder what they're going to announce.
Right.
Like what is going to keep this kind of ball rolling.
Sure.
But I don't even know.
That's a great point. No,
New IP.
Yeah, no, that'd be interesting. I mean,
And they can go back. Like I know it's like kind of a joke, but like I'm surprised
Blinks?
they haven't gone. Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to like Blinks or like some of these smaller random
Motherfucking
things and try to
zombie?
make them new again. Like they don't have a huge selection of things to go back to. So like there are weird ways they can celebrate, Battletoads and stuff like that. Like they own, like they can celebrate their heritage. They don't have a deep IP heritage apart from these like 3 or 4 big franchises, which they really
I know
beat the
Killer
drum on.
Instinct Season 3, I think, is also
Yeah.
this year. So they're doing stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
definitely. They're making games. I feel bad for them because they're definitely making the right moves. It was really the launch of Xbox One that really fucked them, and then the announce of Xbox One that really screwed them. And but PlayStation 3 had a terrible launch too, and it came back. So anything's possible.
yeah.
It's just that Microsoft doesn't have as many fronts to fight on. They can fight in the United States, they can fight in the UK. That's basically it. I mean, PlayStation dominates like everywhere else. So it's a tough battle for them.